There are a lot of people that like things organized. In our society, it is common to hear someone with such a preference say something like, I'm so OCD. For those who don't know, OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. A lot of people think OCD just means that someone likes things a certain way. This is far from the truth. OCD is not a cute quirk or personality trait. It is a serious mental illness that wreaks havoc in the lives of millions, and there is a difference between having symptoms of an illness and qualifying for a full-on diagnosis. So OCD is a serious mental illness. The National Institute of Mental Health defines OCD as a chronic, long-lasting disorder in which a person has uncontrollable recurring thoughts, known as obsessions, and behaviors that he or she feels the need to, this urge to repeat over and over again, known as compulsions. From personal experience, I would say that this urge to repeat compulsions can feel almost as strong as the urge to breathe when you're trying to hold your breath. Often a compulsion is related to and results from an obsession. If someone is obsessed with the worry that they didn't lock the door, then they could have the compulsion to lock and unlock the door many times every time they try to leave the house or their car. I was officially diagnosed with OCD a few years ago, and all of a sudden my whole life made sense. One of my obsessions and related compulsions that I'm willing to share involves these tweezers. I don't know of any girl that likes having black hair on their face, so the obsession is with getting rid of hair. I have this worry of having black hair, like in places that I don't want it, and I am obsessed over it. And so I first start out with my face, but sometimes I also feel like I have to tweeze like my arms or my legs, so the compulsion is tweezing hair. According to the National Institutes of Health, about 2.2 million American adults have been diagnosed with OCD. So that's only about 1% of the population. It's not as many people as you'd think with how popular the term OCD is. So there's a difference between having symptoms of an illness and qualifying for a full-on diagnosis. There's a lot of confusion over OCD in our society today, because people confuse full-on OCD with just having some symptoms of it. It's very common for people to experience symptoms of OCD without qualifying for the full diagnosis. My thoughts are that people experiencing symptoms is what started the sayings like, I'm so OCD or she's so OCD about that. 94% of people experience symptoms of OCD is what is said. Anybody can worry about things, obsess over things, or even feel a compulsion to do certain things. So symptoms of it are very common. But to qualify for the diagnosis, therapists have told me that it has to interfere with your daily life. It has to take up many hours every day for months to qualify for the OCD diagnosis. And going back to the example of like door locks, whether it's a car lock or your door lock, and being obsessed with the worry of whether you remember to lock it or not, to really have OCD and not just experience some symptoms, you would have to spend hours every day locking and unlocking or obsessing over whether you locked it or not. And from personal experience, I would say that when you're obsessing, you can't focus on anything else, do anything else, or really think about anything else. It consumes you and fills you with anxiety. So there's a lot of anxiety involved with OCD. That's why it used to be in the category of anxiety disorders. Now it's in a category of its own in the DSM. And so my next point is that OCD is not a cute quirk or personality trait. There are a lot of misconceptions in society about what OCD is. When you learn about it and know what it really is, then you realize how society's idea of what it is so wrong. It can really feel like it. OCD really, when you have it, it feels like it ruins your life or that it runs your life, and people start to feel like they're not in control anymore when they have it. And when people casually say that they're so OCD when they don't actually have it, it can really offend and hurt those who actually have it. People unknowingly make light of something so difficult and don't acknowledge the struggle of others. People use this term OCD thinking it means one thing when it actually means something else. In my experience, this is done in ignorance, so the best way to combat that is to inform people of what it actually is. In conclusion, OCD is a serious mental illness. It is not a cute quirk or personality trait, and there's a difference between experiencing symptoms of a disorder and qualifying for the full-on diagnosis.